Hey guys, I'm back with another video. My name's Jason and thanks for watching. In this video, I want to talk about a recent mod that I did to my Traxxas TRX-4 Bronco. So these are pretty capable right out of the box. They got full-time four-wheel drive, front and rear locking differentials, 2-speed transmission. A lot of people like these a lot. One thing that I always wanted was to have two-wheel drive, four-wheel drive selectability, and that's the mod that I did here in this video. So let me go ahead and show you how it works. So right here we have both drive shafts. The front one's modified and the rear one is stock. So how it works is there's two separate parts of the drive shaft and there is a metal rod going down the middle with ball bearings. And so I have this slider so that I can easily grab it and put it over, and that will engage the drive shaft. And then if I don't want four-wheel drive, I slide it back and now it's just rear-wheel drive. So as simple as that. Just a little slider that you put on and off, and you have two-wheel drive, four-wheel drive. Now, I can't take full credit for this idea. I did see a guy on YouTube that did something very similar to this, and he was the inspiration for this. I'll include his video in the description below. But basically, he did this mod, but he didn't really show how to do it or what you needed to buy to get it done. So what I had to do is watch his video like 50 times and reverse engineer it myself, do some measurements, and come up with this correct shaft sizes, the cutting measurements, and the bearings that needed to be purchased. So basically I got all that information after doing my own research, and I put that into this video. So it's kind of, I guess you could say this video is an extension of his idea, and I just wanted to give him credit because this isn't my idea. Okay, so last thing before I show you how I did this, just want to remind you all the parts I use are in the video description below. Also, this is not a permanent thing. You could easily take the stock drive shaft and put it back in. So you're not modifying this permanently in any way. So, the risk of about $30 in parts and just trying it out, it's totally worth it. And have two-wheel drive on this. So anyway, hope you guys appreciate the information. Give me a thumbs up or subscribe to the channel if you want to see more of this stuff in the future. I'll go ahead and start the how-to video guide right now. Enjoy. So first step to do this mod, you're going to take the small Allen wrench that came with the truck. You're going to remove the Allen key on the front drive shaft here and the one up here. So once you have this one removed, you can rotate the drive shaft and remove this one. Once they're both removed, you just pull back, up and out. Let's go ahead and disassemble the stock drive shaft. So you just pull these off. And then there's an Allen key inside here, so you just unscrew that. And then they just pull off. So you'll want to keep this metal piece because this is what goes onto the modified drive shaft. So you'll just set these aside in case you ever want to go back to stock. This is what you're left with, the two metal pieces and these two screws. You'll need to keep these. Let's go ahead and show you what you'll need to do to the rest of it. And then you're going to purchase Traxxas part 8250. Which comes with two sets of these outer sleeves and inner sleeves. And so what we're going to do is we're going to modify these sleeves so that we can disengage and engage the drivetrain. So first step is we're going to take this inner sleeve and we're just going to cut it down the middle on each side of this divider so that we have two pieces. Yeah, that's what it looks like after you cut it down the middle. Next step, I'm going to show you how to modify these. The kit comes with 4. You'll need the 2 shorter ones and 1 long one. So I'm going to show you what you need to do to each one of these, the length that you'll need to cut off. Okay, to one of the first small ones, you'll want to cut it down to 2 centimeters. Okay, the next short one, you want to cut it down so it's a little under 2.5 centimeters. So you can just see it's maybe 1 or 2 millimeters underneath the 2.5 centimeter mark. When you cut the shaft in half, the inner spline, you can see they both come out to be 2 centimeters. Okay, the next step, what you want to do is take the longer spline here. And what we're going to do is we're going to remove a section from it that's about this long. So let me go ahead and measure how long this is. So this is to slide back and forth. So this piece comes out to be about 1.5 centimeters. So you'll want to cut off a piece of this that's 1.5 centimeters long. Okay, so here's all of our parts so far. We have the sliding sleeve, a slightly longer one, and a shorter one with the 2 center splines cut in half and the 2 metal with the 2 screws. I showed you all the measurements for these and these. So what we want to do is now work on the center shaft with the bearings. Okay, so I was having a tough time getting the bearings on these shafts. They were supposed to be 2 millimeters, and these were supposed to be 2 millimeter inner diameter. I don't know which one's too big. So what I did is I took my drill here and I put the shaft, one of the shafts in there, and then I just took some sandpaper and applied pressure while I had it going, you know, fast, and I just went up and down, and it basically took this down just enough so now I can slide the bearings on. So I'm going to have to cut this to my desired length. So here's the finished drive shaft. We sanded it down and we cut it to 5 centimeters exactly. That seems to be the perfect length. And then I needed a way to space these bearings out. So I put all 10 bearings on so the internal sleeves ride on these bearings here. And I thought of like a coffee straw I think might fit over this and space this out pretty good, so you could do some coffee straws cut up. I just used electrical tape because I didn't have any coffee straws around, but basically you'll want to space it out like so. You can use the ruler here for a guideline of how big those spacers are. Let me go ahead and show you how it works put together. Okay, so you have both the internal drive line sections on the ball bearings. You can see they rotate, and so how you'd fix that, or how you'd lock it up, is you basically just slide this over, and luckily this is tight enough that it doesn't move around too easily, so it like won't disengage or engage automatically. You'll have to definitely slide this, but now there's no, you can't twist this, and I think this is going to work good. One thing to note is you'll definitely want to put both the smooth sides touching here and the rough sides that you cut on the outside. So let's go ahead and assemble it, and I'll show you how to do that and line it up properly, and we'll go from there. So first part of assembly, you'll want to take the metal part of the axle and one of the sides, and it's keyed so it'll only fit in one way, and then you just slide that on. And then you take the screw with your Allen key and you just screw it in. Okay, so that side of the drive shaft is connected, so perfect. Do the other one. Good to go. So now you have these two pieces, so you want to grab the shorter one, and then make sure that when you're putting it in, the smooth side goes out, so the rough side that you cut will go inside. So this one barely goes on, so you want to barely put it on. Then you take your sleeve, and you want the sleeve to go on the smooth side, so it goes on easy this way, but it goes on harder this way. So put the easy side on, and then what you're going to do is you're going to push it on the ground. And then what that does is it gets this inserted the perfect amount. So now the sleeve sits on here, but then when you pull it out, it'll engage the other drive. So now what I'm thinking I will do with this is just tack it with super glue right here. Trying to think of any other way to get this. The only downside to that is the screw inside here is no longer accessible if I tack this on. So I think I can do that. I know I can buy replacements of these if there's issues. I've tested this, I know it works. So I'm probably going to tack that in at the perfect depth here. So you want this to be flush right here, so that when it's disengaged, there's no way that this will connect to the other spinning piece. So that's hooking up one side. So the short piece, put this in just the exact depth that this is flush. Okay, so that one's done. I did glue it. I just want to make sure I'm not going to put the sleeve on this quite yet until it's dry. So now what we want to do to find the depth of the other one is we want to put the 5mm drive shaft and bearings there. Test it. It spins freely. So then we want to put this on here, and we want to just push it until it hits. So now I've completely collapsed that in. So now The drive shaft and bearings are completely compressed. So this side, now we know that's the exact depth that you need. So go ahead and do this again. Boom. So now basically we have working disconnected drive shaft. All we need to do is put the sleeve on and screw in the drive shaft and we're done. Now this one is pressed in so far in here, I'm not going to glue this. I think this is fine without being glued. And it's very tight. The other one was just barely touching on, so I didn't want to do that. So I'm going to wait a little bit longer for the super glue to dry and then put the sleeve on and install the drive shaft and give it some testing. So one more demonstration of how it works. It's completely disconnected. The sleeve is the exact size as this side. So now we want to lock it. We can push that all the way down. And because this side is smaller, it overlaps. So that's why you want to do it that way. So disconnected, connected. So I think that's pretty cool. It's pretty, you have to slide this. It's a little stiff, which I think is good. So it's not just going to automatically disconnect and connect when you're driving. So for the most part, I'm going to have this, you know, locked in for four-wheel drive, but just for fun, I think it'd be cool to have two-wheel drive. So anyway, there we go. Let's go ahead and throw it in the truck. Okay, so when you go to install the drive shaft, because there's no flexibility in it compressing, you're going to need to undo two bolts. Very, very easy. First thing you want to do is take off the tire. The tire is really easy to come off. This hubcap unscrews, and then there is a little hex bolt. You just take off with the included tool, just unscrew, the wheel pops off. Once the wheel pops off, you have the ability to remove this bolt that comes in this suspension support right on the axle. So you undo this screw and then you just twist it and put it down. And then what that does is it allows the front axle to swing and give you more space to install the drive shaft. So gravity is going to pull this way. So I want to put the spline that moves down on this side. So what you do is you put this side on the drive shaft right there, pull this back, and then put that on. So what you can do now, take the screw for the suspension. Well, actually what you want to do first is take this and kind of slide it in. It's a little tricky because it's really tight, but you only have to do this once. So there it is. It's in there. Slide this guy in and screw it in. Then you're good to go. So you want to tighten it pretty good. Not super tight, but definitely not tight enough that it's going to be coming undone. Next thing you can do is put the tire on. So just go ahead and line the hub up with that, what is that, dog poop on my wheel? Sheesh. I'm gonna put dog poop on my wheel when I have a video going. And take the hex, just screw it in. Okay, that's on. Take the hub cap center, screw that on. Okay, wheels back on, suspension's back good. Last thing to do is put in the Allen keys on each side of the drive shaft. So it's easier to do the one here first, and then you'll put this one in. Let's go ahead and start it up. Okay, so two-wheel drive. That is sweet. One awesome thing that I love about this is it's just so customizable. So you guys probably heard that my truck actually has an engine noise. So this is the Sense Innovations ESS dual speaker. Completely programmable in the computer. You can choose exactly what you want it to sound like. I love it. And I've done a magnetic top. So what's awesome about the magnetic top is you just snaps right on. And then when you want to take it off, just pops right off. Super awesome to access it and to store it. No more clips. Hated those clips. Anyway, let's go ahead and test it out. Okay, so two-wheel drive. Look how tight it's turning. It's awesome. And donuts, man. Yeah, this is gonna be fun.